What's up, guys? You're watching Jeannie TV, and we are back with another reaction. Today we'll be reacting to Harper Valley PTA by Jeannie C. This was suggested by a patron, so you know how to check it out. I am not familiar with Jeannie C. If you are a returning viewer to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button. It helps out the channel a ton. There are 100,000 of you guys that watch my videos and return to my videos, but over 85% of you guys are not subscribed. I know it can be easy to forget because my videos just pop up. I do the same thing sometimes. If this is your first time to the channel, I am new to the rock genre, exploring the mini classic rabbit holes, having a blast. If you want to join me on that journey, take a second to scroll down, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and turn on your post notifications so that you don't miss a video when I post. It helps out the channel tremendously. And if you guys are interested in exclusive content or you want to ensure that I react to your suggestion, definitely consider checking out the Patreon. The link will be in the description. I have tons of reactions to classic songs that got blocked here from YouTube, songs that I know you guys would enjoy. That being said, let's get right into this video.
I want to tell you all a story about a Harper Valley widowed wife who had a teenage daughter who attended Harper Valley Junior High. Well, her daughter came home one afternoon and didn't even stop to play. And she said, "Mama, got a note here from the Harper Valley PTA." Well, the note said, "Mrs. Johnson, you're wearing your dress is way too high. It's reported you've been drinking and running round with men and going wild. And we don't believe you ought to be bringing up your little girl this way." And it was signed by the secretary, Harper Valley PTA. Well, it happened that the PTA was gonna meet that very afternoon. And they were sure surprised when Mrs. Johnson wore her miniskirt into the room. And as she walked up to the blackboard, I can still recall the words she had to say. She said, "I'd like to address this meeting of the Harper Valley PTA. Well, there's Bobby Taylor sitting there, and 7 times he's asked me for a date. And Mrs. Taylor sure seems to use a lot of ice whenever he's away. And Mr. Baker, can you tell us why your secretary had to leave this town? And shouldn't Widow Jones be told to keep her window shades off, pull completely down? Well, Mr. Harper couldn't be here 'cause he stayed too long at Kelly's bar again. And if you'll smell Shirley Thompson's breath, you'll find she's had a little nip of gin. And then you have the nerve to tell me you think that as a mother I'm not fit. Well, this is just a little Peyton place, and you're all Harper Valley hypocrites. No, I wouldn't put you on because it really did. It happened just this way. The day my mama socked it to the Harper Valley PTA. The day my mama socked it to the Harper Valley PTA.
Man, very fun song from Jeannie C. I think she said this is based on a real story, so that makes it even better. Love the guitars on this song, especially that steel guitar that he was playing sideways. This is a really simple song with a country flair. Definitely a heavy emphasis on the storytelling here. I like the way she performed this song. It's almost like she's secretly excited because she knows what's coming. She's probably seeing the crowd just be fully engaged as she's telling the story, you know, verse by verse. It seems like she has a bit of pride in this story as well because her mom, you know, did something amazing. This story is probably a canon event and probably rang through the halls of her school for years to come. With that being said, let's go ahead and check out the lyrics. She said, I want to tell you a story about a Harper Valley widowed wife who had a teenage daughter who attended Harper Valley Junior High. Well, her daughter came home one afternoon and didn't even stop to play. And she said, Mom, I got a note here from the Harper Valley PTA. So she's just giving some background here. Her mom was a widow, raising her all alone, and the PTA had an important message for her. Next verse she says, well, the note said, Mrs. Johnson, you're wearing your dresses way too high. It's reported you've been drinking and running around with men and going wild, and we don't believe you ought to be bringing up your little girl this way. And it was signed by the secretary, Harper Valley PTA. So the PTA is basically trying to say that she's setting a bad example for her daughter. They said she's been wearing her dresses too high, drinking and going on dates with men, and apparently they don't like the optics of that. This seems like a major overreach of the PTA's authority. How are they able to give their input on someone's personal life? I don't know. That's definitely a strange thing to be discussing in a PTA meeting. Next verse she says, well, it happened that the PTA was going to meet that very afternoon, and they were sure surprised when Mrs. Johnson wore her mini skirt into the room, and as she walked up to the blackboard, I can still recall the words she had to say. She said, I'd like to address this meeting of the Harper Valley PTA. So this story is just continuing to build. She decides she's going to confront everyone at once at this PTA meeting, and she's doing it in her mini skirt just to show that she doesn't care about what they think about her. Next verse she says, well, there's Bobby Taylor sitting there, and 7 times he's asked me for a date, and Mrs. Taylor sure seems to use a lot of ice whenever he's away. And Mr. Baker, can you tell us why your secretary had to leave this town? And shouldn't Widow Jones be told to keep her window shades all pulled completely down? So she called out everyone that she knew that had some mystery in their history. Bobby Taylor obviously agreed to write this note to her, and he's one of the guys that's been asking her on a date. Mrs. Taylor is either an alcoholic or she cheats on her husband. She said that Mrs. Taylor uses a lot of ice when her husband's gone. So either she's using the ice for herself and her own drinks, or she's using ice for her drink and her partner's drink that she's cheating on her husband with. Mr. Baker seems to have gotten his secretary pregnant, and that's why she had to leave town. That was a pretty common thing to do when someone got pregnant. They would just kind of go off a different place for a while so that people wouldn't see them being pregnant, because it was a shameful thing to do if you weren't married. And Widow Jones is either creepy or she's trying to put on a show for, you know, people outside her house. She probably constantly like undresses in front of the window, hoping that people will see her. And so basically all these people have, you know, skeletons in their closet, yet they're trying to call her out for her behavior, even though they probably all have children. Next verse she says, well, Mr. Harper couldn't be here because he stayed too long at Kelly's bar again. And if you smell Shirley Thompson's breath, you'll find that she had a little nip of gin. And then you have the nerve to tell me you think that as a mother I'm not fit. Well, this is just a little Peyton place, and you're all Harper Valley hypocrites. So she calls out Mr. Harper and Shirley Johnson for being alcoholics, basically. And then she's basically saying like, all of you are the pot calling the kettle black. You're calling me out for things that you all do, but for some reason I get singled out. Maybe there's some jealousy going on here. Maybe the women are jealous of her looks and the men are upset because she's inaccessible to them. Not quite sure, but she also makes a reference to this being like a TV show. She said, this is just a little Peyton place and you're all Harper Valley hypocrites. I've never heard of Peyton Place, so I'm assuming it's like a TV show, and she's just drawing that parallel here. Last verse I'll go over, she says, no, I wouldn't put you on because it really did. It happened just this way. The day my mama socked it to the Harper Valley PTA, the day my mama socked it to the Harper Valley PTA. So she's just confirming that this is a true story and it really happened. Man, this was a fun story. Great recommendation from you guys. If you guys have any suggestions, leave them down in the comments below. If you guys are new to the channel, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you enjoy the content. Now, catch you guys on the flip.